I'm sitting in the funeral home, and I can't stop staring at the woman in the third row. She's wearing black, obviously. We're all wearing black. But something about her, I don't know, the way she's crying. It's not the polite dab your eyes with a tissue kind of crying. It's the kind that comes from somewhere deep, guttural, like she's losing a piece of herself. And I'm thinking, who is she? I mean, I know everyone here, should know everyone here. My husband's been gone for 4 days now. Heart attack, 52 years old. We were married for 28 years. 28! You'd think in that time you'd know all your husband's friends, his coworkers, his people. But I've never seen her before in my life. She's got 2 kids with her, teenagers, a boy and a girl. The boy looks just like... I can't even think it. I won't. Not yet. Not here. Not with everyone watching me play the grieving widow. Which I am. I really am. Except now there's this thing in my chest that feels like it's cracking open. After the service, I'm shaking hands, accepting casseroles. You know how it goes. And this woman, she walks right up to me. Her mascara's running. She's got this death grip on her daughter's hand. "I'm so sorry," she says. And I say what you say. "Thank you for coming." But she doesn't leave. She just stands there, staring at me with these eyes that are so... I don't even know the word. Desperate? Guilty? Something. "You don't know me," she finally says. "No. But I knew David. I knew him very well." The way she says it, very well, there's weight there, mountains of it. My best friend Linda grabs my elbow, sensing something, protective. "Maybe this isn't the time," she says to the woman. The woman nods, reaches into her purse, pulls out an envelope, hands it to me. "When you're ready," she whispers. "I'm Catherine, just Catherine." And then she's gone. I don't open the envelope that night, or the next day. It sits on my kitchen counter for 3 days, and I walk past it probably 100 times. And every time I think, what if I'm not ready? Here's the thing though, you're never ready. I open it on a Tuesday morning. I don't know why Tuesday. Maybe because the house is too quiet and I can't stand it anymore. Maybe because I'm tired of pretending that envelope doesn't exist. It's handwritten, her handwriting, not David's. But it starts with something that makes my blood stop. "Dear Sarah, by the time you read this, you'll have questions. I'm going to try to answer them. But first, I need you to know something. Your husband loved you. He really did. That was never a lie." I actually laugh out loud in my empty kitchen, because what kind of opening is that? What comes after "he loved you" that requires that kind of disclaimer? I keep reading. "My name is Catherine Morris. I was married to David for 17 years. Was married to David for 17 years. I have to put the letter down. My hands, they're not working right. Everything's shaking. I count backwards from 10. Something my therapist taught me years ago for panic attacks. 10, 9, 8. It doesn't help. I pick the letter back up. "Olivia, the kids who look like my husband, who look like the son I never had, the daughter we tried for years before we gave up. I need you to understand something. I didn't know about you, not for the first 3 years. He told me he was divorced, showed me papers. God, I was so stupid, so ready to believe him, because I loved him, and he was good to us, and he came home every single month without fail. She didn't know. For 3 years, she didn't know, which means for 3 years, he lied to both of us.
And then for 14 more years, he just kept lying, kept living two lives, kept coming home to me in Kansas City and then flying back to Chicago, to her, to them. I'm doing the math in my head. Marcus is 16. We've been married 28 years, which means, oh God, which means he started this when we'd been married for 12 years, when I was still going through fertility treatments, when I was crying every month because the tests came back negative, and he'd hold me and say, "It's okay, Sarah, we have each other, that's enough." And the whole goddamn time, I found out about you when Marcus was 3. I found a receipt in his jacket pocket for a restaurant in Kansas City with a date, your anniversary date. I confronted him. He broke down, told me everything. The letter goes on, but I have to stop because I'm thinking about something, a memory I haven't touched in years. Marcus would have been 3. That would have been 15 years ago. And 15 years ago, David came home from a business trip, different, quiet, kept apologizing for things that didn't make sense. "I'm sorry I'm not better at this," he'd say, "at being what you need." I thought he was going through something, a midlife crisis maybe. We went to couples therapy for 6 months, and he never said a word. The letter is 4 pages long. I read it 7 times before any of it really sinks in. Catherine explains how David begged her not to leave, how he promised he'd tell me, but he needed time, how time turned into months, then years, how she kept believing him because what else could she do? She had 2 kids, he was supporting them, and yeah, she loved him, still loved him, even knowing what he was. "I stayed because I was weak," she writes, "and because I couldn't imagine ripping my children's father away from them. I told myself it wasn't hurting anyone. You didn't know, the kids didn't know. We were all just living." But here's the part that breaks me, really breaks me. Your husband died in my house, Sarah, not yours. He was with us when it happened. We were having dinner, spaghetti, Olivia's favorite. He was laughing at something Marcus said, and then he just stopped, grabbed his chest. I called 911. I rode with him in the ambulance. I held his hand when he died. I held his hand when he died. I didn't get to hold his hand when he died. I got a phone call from a hospital in Chicago, from a nurse who said, "Mrs. Patterson, I'm so sorry. Your husband suffered a massive heart attack. He didn't make it." I flew there, identified the body, made arrangements, and no one told me he was with another family, at another home, living another life. The hospital had my number because I was his emergency contact, legal wife. But Catherine was there. Catherine held him. Catherine was the last person he saw. I'm sitting on my kitchen floor now, still holding the letter, and I'm thinking about the woman at the funeral, the way she cried. She earned that grief. She had him for dinner, had his last laugh, his last breath. What did I have? "I know you must hate me," the letter continues. "I hate me, but I'm writing this because you deserve to know the truth, and because, God, this is so hard to say, because your husband left something for you. Letters. He kept them in a box in our attic. I think he always knew he'd have to face this eventually, that one of us would have to tell you." She includes her address at the bottom, Chicago, Lincoln Park. And she writes, "Come whenever you're ready, or don't come at all. I'll understand either way. But if you want answers, if you want to meet Marcus and Olivia, if you want to read what David wrote, I'll be here." I fold the letter, put it back in the envelope, and I sit on my kitchen floor for 3 hours, staring at nothing, thinking about everything. Here's what I know. My husband had a secret family for 15 years. 15! And I never knew, never suspected, never had a single clue that the man I fell asleep next to, the man I made breakfast for, the man I built a life with, was building another life somewhere else. Here's what I don't know. What the hell I'm supposed to do now? I tell Linda first. We're at her house. She's making coffee even though it's 8 p.m. because that's what she does when things are bad. Keeps her hands busy. You're joking, she says. Except she knows I'm not. I show her the letter. She reads it twice. Doesn't say anything. Just stands there in her kitchen with her reading glasses sliding down her nose. And when she finally looks up at me, her eyes are wet. That son of a bitch. Yeah. Sarah, I'm so sorry. God, what do you need? Do you need to scream? Break something? I have that ugly vase from Richard's mother. We can smash it. I almost smile. Almost. I need to go to Chicago. Absolutely not. Linda. No, are you insane? That woman, she had his kids, Sarah, his actual kids, and you want to go there, to her house, to see them? I need to know. Know what? What's left to know? He cheated, he lied, he had a whole other family. That's the story. End of story. But that's the thing. It's not the end. It's barely the beginning. Because I can't stop thinking about Marcus and Olivia. The way they sat at the funeral, so quiet, so broken. They lost their dad too, and they didn't ask for any of this. They're just kids who thought they had a normal family. And now what? Now they know their father was living a double life? That they have a stepmother who didn't know they existed? I have to go, I say again. Linda stares at me. When? Tomorrow. I'm coming with you. You don't have to. The hell I don't. You're not doing this alone. And that's when I lose it. Finally, 4 days of holding it together, of accepting condolences, of being strong, and it all just crashes. I'm sobbing into Linda's shoulder, and she's holding me, and I'm saying things that don't make sense, about how I never got to say goodbye, about how he left me here with nothing but questions, about how I should hate him. I do hate him, but I also miss him so much. It feels like drowning. I know, Linda whispers. I know, sweetie, I know. But she doesn't. Nobody does. We drive to Chicago the next day, 5 hours in Linda's SUV, and I don't say much, can't say much. My brain's too full. I keep thinking about this thing David used to do. Every year on our anniversary, he'd make me breakfast in bed. Terrible breakfast. Burnt toast, scrambled eggs that were somehow both runny and dry. But he'd try, always try. Did he do that for her, too? For Catherine? Did he make burnt toast for 2 wives? The address leads us to a brownstone in Lincoln Park. Nice neighborhood, tree-lined streets, the kind of place you raise kids, build a life. Linda parks, turns off the engine. You ready?
I'm not. But I get out anyway. Catherine answers the door before I can knock, like she's been watching, waiting. She looks different without the funeral makeup. Older, tired. Her eyes are red, puffy. Sarah, she says. Just my name, nothing else. Hi. We stand there, 2 women who loved the same man, who were married to the same man, who never knew each other existed until 4 days ago. Come in, she finally says. The house is nice. That's the word that keeps coming to mind. Nice. Normal. There are photos on the walls. David with Marcus. David with Olivia. David with Catherine. All of them smiling at some beach somewhere. Photos I never took. Memories I was never part of. The kids are upstairs, Catherine says. I told them you were coming. They're scared? I think. I don't know. How do you prepare your children for something like this? I don't know. We sit in her living room. Linda stays close, protective. Catherine brings out a box, old, cardboard held together with packing tape. These are his, she says. The letters. I haven't read them. Didn't feel right. I take the box. It's heavier than it looks. Why? I ask. The first real question. Why did you stay after you found out about me? Catherine's quiet for a long time. When she speaks, her voice cracks. Because I was pregnant with Olivia. Because Marcus was 3 and called him daddy and lit up every time he came home. Because David swore he'd fix it, and I wanted to believe him. Because I was scared and stupid and in love. She's crying now, really crying. And because she stops, swallows. Because after a while, it just became normal, our normal. He'd come home for 2 weeks and we'd be a family, and then he'd leave, and we'd miss him, but we'd manage. And I told myself you were happy too, that we were all getting what we needed. I wasn't happy, I say. I wanted kids. We tried for years, and the whole time he already had them, with you. The look on her face, I'll never forget it. I didn't know that, she whispers. He never... Sarah, I swear, I didn't know. And somehow, I believe her. Marcus and Olivia come downstairs an hour later. Up close, the resemblance is impossible to ignore. Marcus has David's eyes, that same dark brown, almost black. Olivia has his smile, crooked, a little shy. They're terrified. I can see it. The way they stand close to Catherine, like she's a shield. Hi, Olivia says, quiet, small. Hi. We're sorry, Marcus adds, about everything. We didn't know. About you. He never said. It's not your fault. And it's not. It's really not. These are just kids who lost their dad, who are trying to make sense of something that doesn't make sense. We talk for a while. Awkward, painful, but not awful. They tell me about David, the dad version, how he coached Marcus's soccer team, how he never missed Olivia's dance recitals, how he made them pancakes every Sunday morning. Pancakes. He made me pancakes too, every Sunday. Same recipe. I don't tell them that. Before we leave, Catherine pulls me aside. There's something else, she says. Something I need to tell you. About your mother. My mother? What about her? Catherine takes a breath. She knew, Sarah. About me. About the kids. David told her, years ago, and she helped him keep the secret. The room tilts. My mother who died 3 years ago, who I took care of through cancer, who held my hand and told me she was proud of me. She knew? Why? It's all I can manage. Catherine hands me another letter. This one's different, older. The paper's yellowed. Read it, she says, when you're ready. I don't read it in the car, or that night at the hotel. I wait until I'm home, until Linda's gone, and the house is quiet, and I'm alone with all these impossible truths. The letters from my mother, dated 15 years ago, right after Catherine found out about me. Dearest Sarah, if you're reading this, then David is gone, and the truth has finally come out. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry for what he did, for what I did, for keeping this from you all these years. David came to me when Catherine discovered you existed. He was falling apart, said he'd ruined everything, said he couldn't lose either of you. And God, I was so angry with him. I told him he had to tell you, had to end this. But then he told me about Marcus, about Catherine being pregnant with Olivia, and I thought about you, about how much you wanted kids, and about how devastated you'd been through all those treatments. And I thought, if he tells her now, she'll leave him, she'll be alone, childless, divorced, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand the thought of you losing everything. So I told him not to tell you. I told him to keep the secret, to keep both families, because at least this way you'd have him, part of him, better than nothing. I know how that sounds, cruel, selfish, but Sarah, I was protecting you the only way I knew how. I was giving you a chance of happiness, even if it wasn't the whole truth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I need you to know something else. Something I learned after I made that decision. Catherine and we talked. Met, actually. She reached out to me a few months after David came clean to her. Said she needed to know who you were, who she was sharing him with. We met at a coffee shop in Chicago, neutral ground, and we sat there for 3 hours. 2 women connected by the same terrible man, and we bonded. Strange as that sounds. We kept in touch. Christmas cards, occasional phone calls. I wanted to make sure she was okay, that the kids were okay, and she wanted the same for you. We became friends, Sarah. Real friends. And I don't regret that. I don't regret knowing Marcus and Olivia, even from a distance. They're good kids. David's kids. Your siblings, in every way that matters. I'm telling you this because I hope someday you'll forgive me. Forgive us. And maybe you'll get to know them too. Marcus has your stubbornness. Olivia has your kindness. They're yours, sweetie, if you want them. With all my love, Mom. I read it 3 times. My mother knew. My mother became friends with my husband's other wife. My mother met my husband's children, my half-siblings, and never told me. I should be furious. I am furious. But I'm also, I don't know, something else. Because here's the thing about my mother. She was cold, distant. We never had the warm, fuzzy relationship other daughters have with their moms. She criticized my choices, pushed me to stay busy, stay distracted, stay strong. I thought she just didn't like me very much. But what if it wasn't that? What if every time she looked at me, she saw this horrible secret, this lie she was carrying? What if she kept me at an arm's length because she couldn't stand the guilt? What if she was protecting me the only way she knew how? I call Catherine the next morning. My mother, I say. You knew her. Yes. Were you friends? Really? A pause. She loved you very much, Sarah. Everything she did, it was for you. That doesn't make it right. No, Catherine agrees. It doesn't. We're quiet for a moment. Then, I want to see the kids again, if that's okay. I can hear the relief in Catherine's voice. They'd like that. And I want to read the rest of David's letters. All of them. Okay. And I stop. Breathe. I want to know them, Marcus and Olivia. I want to know who they are. They'd like that too. It's not forgiveness, not yet. Maybe not ever. But it's something. It takes me a month to read all of David's letters. There are 47 of them, spanning 15 years. Some are long, rambling. Others are short, just a few lines. They're all apologies. Sarah, I'm a coward. I know that. I should tell you. I will tell you. Soon. Sarah, I saw Marcus take his first steps today. I wanted to call you, to share it with you, but I couldn't, and I hate myself for that. Sarah, you asked me again about trying IVF. I said no. I said we should accept that it's not meant to be. But the truth is, I couldn't stand the thought of you having my child, of there being another secret, another lie. I'm so sorry. That one breaks me. He stole that from me, the chance at a family, because he already had one, because his lies were getting too complicated. But there's one letter, the last one, written 3 weeks before he died.
Sarah, I'm tired. So tired of living like this. Split in half. Never whole. I love you. I love Catherine. I love my kids. But I can't keep doing this. I've decided to tell you. Finally, after all these years, I'm going to sit you down and tell you everything. And then, whatever happens, happens. I know you'll hate me. You should. But maybe, someday, you'll understand that I never meant to hurt you. I didn't know how to stop. If you're reading this, I'm gone, and I never got the chance to tell you myself. I'm sorry for that, too. But please, please don't hate Marcus and Olivia. Don't hate Catherine. They didn't ask for this. And if you can find it in you, get to know them. They're good people. They're family. I love you. I always have. David. I fold the letter, put it back with the others, and I think, you didn't get to tell me, but I found out anyway, and now I have to figure out what to do with it. 6 months later, I'm sitting in a restaurant in Chicago, meeting Catherine, Marcus, and Olivia for dinner. It's our 5th time doing this, once a month. We're building something. I don't know what to call it. Not friendship, exactly. Not family, not in the traditional sense, but something. Marcus tells me about college applications. He wants to study engineering. Smart kid. Olivia shows me videos from her latest dance competition. She's good. Really good. Catherine and I don't talk about David much anymore. When we do, it's careful, measured. We're both still angry, still hurt, but we're trying. For them, for Marcus and Olivia. And maybe a little bit for ourselves. Because here's what I've learned. You can't change the past, can't undo the lies, can't make someone undead or unmarried or anything. But you can decide what comes next. I could have walked away, could have cut them all out, burned the letters, pretended none of it existed. But then what? I'd still be alone, still be childless, still be the woman who lost her husband and never got answers. This way I have something. Marcus, who calls me once a week to check in, who sent me a birthday card last month with a note that said, "Thanks for giving us a chance." Olivia, who texts me dance videos and asks my opinion on colleges, and once, just once, signed off with, "Love you." Catherine, who's not my friend, not really, but who understands this grief in a way no one else can. We're all just trying to survive the wreckage, and maybe that's enough. Before I leave, Olivia pulls me aside. "Can I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think..." She stops, starts again. "Do you think Dad loved us? Like, really loved us? Or were we just part of the lie?" "Oh, sweetheart." I take her hands. "He loved you," I say, and I mean it. You were never part of the lie. You were what was real. She nods, wipes her eyes. "Thank you," she whispers. And I think, I'm never going to fully forgive David. I'm never going to understand how he did this, how he lived with himself. But I can give his children this, the truth, the good parts, the love he had for them, because they deserve that. They deserve more than the mess he left behind. Driving home, I think about my mother, about her letter, about the impossible choice she made. I still don't know if it was right, but I understand it now. The fear, the protection, the love that makes you do terrible things. I pull over, take out my phone. There's a graveyard about 20 minutes from my house, where my mother's buried. I haven't been since the funeral. I go now, stand in front of her headstone, Margaret Ann Patterson, beloved mother. "I know, Mom," I say out loud, to no one, to her. "I know what you did. I know why you did it." The wind picks up, trees rustling. I'm not saying it's okay, but I get it. I place my hand on the cold stone. And I met them.
Marcus and Olivia. You were right. They're good kids. They're mine now, kind of, in a weird, messed up way. I'm crying. Didn't expect that. I wish you'd told me. I wish you'd trusted me to handle it, but I get why you didn't. I stand there for a long time. Then I say the thing I came here to say. I forgive you, Mom, and I mean it. That night I'm home, in my kitchen, the same kitchen where I read Catherine's letter 6 months ago. I make tea, sit at the table, and I start writing. A letter. To no one. To everyone. To myself, maybe. About David. About Catherine. About Marcus and Olivia and my mother and all the impossible, terrible, beautiful things that came from this mess. I write about grief, about anger, about learning to hold two truths at once. I loved him, and he hurt me. He was a good father, and a terrible husband. Life is unfair, and we keep living anyway. I write until my hand cramps, until the tea goes cold. And then I fold the letter, put it in an envelope, address it to Marcus and Olivia, for when you're older, for when you need to understand. Because someday they're going to have questions about their dad, about me, about how we all ended up here. And I want them to have answers. Real ones. Not the sanitized version. Not the villain story or the hero story. Just the truth. We're all just people, trying our best, failing, trying again. And sometimes the family you end up with isn't the one you expected, but it's yours anyway. And that's enough. That has to be enough. I seal the envelope, put it away, and I sit in my quiet kitchen, in my quiet house, and I think, I'm 50 years old. My husband's been dead for 6 months. I have a whole life behind me full of lies I never knew existed. But I also have this. 2 kids who didn't ask for me but accepted me anyway. A woman who should be my enemy but became something else. A future that looks nothing like I imagined. It's not the life I wanted, but it's the life I have. And tomorrow I'm going to wake up and keep living it, one day at a time, one truth at a time, until someday maybe it doesn't hurt quite so much. And maybe that's all any of us can do.